Hello and welcome to this new Nuke compositing series. First of all, what is compositing and how does it fit into the full filmmaking process? And I recommend that you first watch my DaVinci Resolve tutorials to see how it fits, but let's make a quick recap. Of course, it starts with the camera. And once you have all your filmed reels, then it goes to editing, who makes a cut. And maybe they want to have a visual effect in one of the shots. Let's say a 3D object here on the street. This then goes to visual effects, who do some magic. And there it is. Now we have a 3D objects in the shot. And this then goes to color grading, who creates the film look. So maybe a little bit like this. And also the audio people will make an audio mix. And finally this is delivered to, for example, Vimeo. And where does Nuke fit into this picture? So we saw here this fusion page where this 3D object was added on top of the shot. And this is called a composition, and in particular a node-based composition. You can see each of these boxes is a node. And Nuke is basically the more advanced version of this. So let's jump into Nuke. Okay, so I put here a test image that will serve as our shot. And first let's have a look at the user interface. So here at the upper left we have the viewer, and on the left side we have a toolbar, but this toolbar is not something that I am using, so you can totally ignore this. This is for beginners. And down here we have the node graph, which can also show the curve editor and dope sheet, but we will go into those later. And on the right side we have the properties, and this shows the information about the current node. Okay, so let's have a look at the viewer. So this can show the individual channels like red, green and blue and alpha. And you show this by pressing the R, G, B and A keys. And press the same key twice to return to the color. Next, let's add a new node into this node graph. So press Tab and type sticky node. And this can be used to add comments. So I will change the size to 24 to make it a bit bigger. And as everyone knows that Nuke is a node-based compositing software, but this is not true. This is actually a stack-based compositing software. And this node graph is actually called a script. This may be a little bit confusing. Why would you call the node graph a script? And the truth is that this is actually a programming language. So if I select the color bars and I copy this node by copy and then type this into a text field here, for example, you can see something that looks like a piece of code. So I'm going to remove the first few lines that are not important. So what we have here is a command color bars and then some parameters. No input. This has the name color bars 1. It is selected and it has a position. So this is actually this piece of code. And if I take this and I copy it and I paste it here, it creates the node, because this node is this piece of text, this script. So this node graph is actually a script. Okay, so next let's do something with this. Let's add a text on top of this, because compositing is all about combining things together. So we will press Tab and type text. And then we can add some text here, say hello world. And we don't see anything yet, so let's press the text and press 1, and this will show this node in the viewer. If I press the other one and press 1, it will show that node in the viewer. And you can also press 2, and if you go to the viewer and press 1, it shows, okay, so that was a bad example. So if you press 1, it shows the one input, and if you press 2, it shows the second one. Okay, so next let's make this a little bit bigger. So I will change the box to 1920 by 1080 and make this center justified. And now we have a text. So let's put this text on top of the color bars. And for this we use the merge node. But Nuke is very quick to use, so you don't really need to type merge. You can just press M on the keyboard. And there we have a merge node. And this has two inputs, the A and the B. And B is always the plate, the incoming, and A is we put on top. And now if you look at this by pressing 1, then we can see the text on top of the plate. And let's also double click text and go to background, and here enable a background to make it a little bit easier to see. So this is our very first composition. And as I said, this is a stack-based compositing software, and that means that each of the nodes will put its result in a stack, and it will basically put them on top of each other. So the color bars will take its result and put it on a pile, and the text will put it on top in the pile, and then the merge will take the pile from the top and take these as inputs and process this and output a new result and put that on top of the pile. It may sound a bit complicated, and I think this is something we will look at in more details in later lessons. And now we got this amazing composition made in Nuke. It may have been a little bit confusing, but if you continue and watch my new lessons that will be published from now on, then it will all make sense. Okay, see you and goodbye.